This video is for my PLTW Intro to Engineering class for the train car. This is the axle peg part. The first thing that you want to do is select New English Standard Inch Part. You're going to want to come over here to start a 2D sketch, and you're going to select the XY plane. You're going to start drawing the overall shape of the axle peg, so you're going to want to come over here and select Line. If you take a look at the diameter of the axle peg, it is 1/4 of an inch, but we only need the radius, so we're doing just half of the axle peg and then we're going to revolve it. So we can type in 0.25 divided by 2, and it'll do the math for us. We want to go up 1 inch, and we're going to go over some amount, but we don't know how much. It'll work itself out when we get moving here. We want to go up from there 0.031. And then we're going to go ahead and switch to an arc. For the arc, it's going to start here on this line, and we're going to arc over here. And we just want a nice slope. So I'm going to click, and I'm going to right click, and I'm going to say OK. We need to finish off this figure. So I'm going to go straight down to the origin, and I'm going to right click, and I'm going to say OK. The next thing that we're going to do are dimensions. So I'm going to click on dimension, and the overall dimension from here to here, it tells us that it is 0.422, but divided by 2. The arc dimension, I'm going to click on the arc, and I'm going to pull away from it. It's 0.236. Now, we need to go ahead and do a coincident constraint right here. You're going to click on this little dot and then click on this line. It's going to force it there for the center of the circle. And this is the part that we need. You can hit Finish Sketch, and we are going to revolve it. It's already selected my profile in blue, and it's moved to the axis already. So I'm going to go ahead and click on this axis, and I'm going to say OK. The next part that we want to do is up here at the top of this. So I am going to manipulate the axle peg so I can see the bottom circle here, and I'm going to hit Start 2D Sketch. I'm going to click and drag upwards, and I want to go negative 0.125, and I'm going to say OK. Took me into sketch mode, which is fine. That's where we want to be. But I want to go ahead and home this so I can see isometric what's going on. We are going to right click and slice the graphic. Now I want to look at the top. Scroll in, and I'm going to hit Project Geometry because we want the geometry of this circle. I'm going to finish the sketch, and I am going to home it again so I can see what I'm doing. And I'm going to select Extrude. We want to cut all of it. And I'm going to say OK. Now the work plane is kind of in our way, so I'm going to come over here. I'm going to right click on the work plane, and I'm going to uncheck the visibility. And now we can see that it sliced that item, or the top portion. We want to go ahead and do a new sketch on that circle. I'm going to click this over because it changed on me. And underneath the rectangle, you might need to drop down that caret box to get to polygon. You want 6-sided. Take a look at what's going on here. It's 6 sides, and I'm going to choose this one. You're going to find the center of the circle, which is our origin, and we're just going to click. We're going to say Done, and then we're going to dimension it. From here to here is 5/32 of an inch, and we are going to go ahead and finish the sketch. We want to extrude cut this portion. So I'm going to say cut, and we only want it to be 0.111 deep. Okay, so, oops, I just hit caps lock. So if we take a look at it, you can see that this is 0.11 deep and that the shape has been cut out. Got two more things to do. The first one is optional on the sheet of paper, but it's not optional for my class. We're going to go ahead and choose the chamfer, and we want to do the chamfer at the very bottom here. If you take a look at the dimensions that are given to you, it's a 45-degree angle at 0.03. We're going to select this face, and we're going to select this edge, and we're going to say OK. Okay, it's been chamfered. The very final thing that we're going to do is the thread. So underneath the hole, you're going to find the thread. We want it to be on this portion, so we actually need to click on the upper portion of the peg. We do not want the thread to be a full length. If you take a look at the image, it's offset by 0.25 or 1/4 of an inch. And we're going to say apply, and you're going to notice that it went in the wrong direction. This happens. So we're going to go ahead and close it out, and we're going to undo, and we're going to hit thread again. We're going to click on the peg, offset at 0.25. Of course, when I clicked on the face, there we go. Offset it by 0.25, and we're going to hit apply, and that did not work out. So I'm going to undo and try it again. That's the face. Needs to be 0.25. Huh. I accidentally clicked that. That was the problem. I'm going to hit apply, and that should be it. All right, let's go ahead and home it, and that is the axle peg. Make sure that you file, save as underneath the train engine, your first two initials, an underscore followed by axle peg.